Hello, and welcome to Confidence Conversations with me, Dorothy Inez, and Miss Kierra Jones. Welcome, Kierra.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you know I love having you, girl. Just like I said before we came on, you're always my first.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm like virgin. So welcome to Confidence Conversations. Today is going to be the first of many conversations that I plan to have with ultra confident, successful women about the subject of confidence. I was inspired to do this because many women I talk to generally consider themselves confident. When I say, hey, do you consider yourself confident? They're like, yes. But what I notice in our private conversations, and I think Kierra can attest, that as we begin to up level or stretch ourselves, get out of our comfort zone, we begin to have these confidence crises. It's a little hard for me to say that because it's two C's together, but we begin to have these confidence crises. And what this can do, ladies, is it can create blind spots. Because the truth is, when you're confident like myself or like Kierra, it's hard to admit I'm struggling with confidence because the expectation is because we're successful, because we're leaders, that we don't struggle with confidence. And as we up level, and I'm telling you, as I'm up leveling, there's going to be things that I'm not comfortable with. And so as I'm out there talking with women and experiencing women, I begin to see a trend in this. And I said, you know what? Let's get rid of the stigma. Let's begin to have conversations so that you can see you're not alone and that it's okay to ask for support. Because what many of us will do, we'll go out and hire that business coach, and Kierra can tell you, because she's a business coach, is that women sometimes hire that business coach before their confidence is at the level that they need to execute, to create that 10K, to create those six figures, or even that 5K in their business. So I want to begin to have those conversations starting today. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dorothy Inez, and I'm the founder and CEO of Brilliant Leadership International. And I'm so passionate about helping those ultra confident women like myself, like Kierra, who are ready to up level. But what we find is that we're struggling with that self-doubt. We're struggling with those negative thoughts that can tend to come in and sabotage us. And what I know, ladies, is there's nothing like having the support of someone who sees you and who sees your vision with you and holds space for you. That would be Dorothy Inez. And so that's what I do, and I love doing that. And so today I want to welcome my guest once again, Miss Kierra Jones, the Shine Strategist. So let me tell you about Miss Kierra. Miss Kierra is, first of all, she's amazing, and I love her personally.
Love you too.
I know, girl. That's why you my first. So let me tell you, Kierra Jones is a business strategist and sales coach, speaker, and international best-selling author. She went from working with 400 plus clients and brands, growing $5 million of business by double digits in corporate sales and consulting to build her own six-figure international coaching brand. Since 2015, she has been helping hundreds of women around the world transform their confidence around themselves, their value, and their expertise. Her clients go from undercharging, undervaluing, and unexcited about selling to strategically packaging, positioning, and marketing their zone of genius to unapologetically signing 500 to 35K clients with a business and life they love, business and life they're in love with. Sorry, Kierra, I got that all mixed.
Yes, because loving and being in love, two different things.
Two different things. She wants you to be in love with it.
Orgasmic about your business.
Yes, she is into that orgasmic. Yes. So, girl, let's just get this party started. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are they ready?
Girl, I don't know. I don't know if they're ready for this right here. Okay, you and me. All right. So tell me, Kierra, tell me what got you started in your current field? Because I know when I met you, you were selling jewelry. That's how I knew you. And I won a prize, which I haven't gotten, Kierra. You know, my little piece of jewelry.
You've gotten other stuff that you have loved.
Yes, this is true. Tell us, Kierra, how did you get started in this field and and finding your passion for helping women?
Yeah. So when we first met, I owned the K. Jones collection, which does not exist currently. But I was always the girl people knew they attached the word shine to. So I believe that jewelry was a part of a woman shining. My target audience with that business was actually entrepreneurs, speakers, coaches. That's actually how I was introduced to the online coaching space as I was working with them. And it was more so helping women feel confident about themselves in their bodies and understanding how their style, could be incorporated with their business and their brand. And so naturally at the time I was working for a year and a half, my full-time career, my corporate consulting and sales career, while I was building that business before I started coaching. And so I had obviously this sales business background. And so I'd be talking to clients and they'd be asking me questions about visibility and their confidence, whether it's on video or on stage, or articulating and communicating their value and what they do and charging their worth. And so we just have conversations, and more I heard, my clients say like, Kierra, you need to you should do this. You should do this. And I had done I would do 80 events a year. I was shipping hundreds of orders around the country from my boutique. And so more and more, and speaking of confidence, I wasn't confident in seeing myself as someone who, could be this sales, business coaching, mindset, coaching person. I didn't see myself as her. It took me that time of running the boutique to really build that confidence in myself as an entrepreneur. And, I've worked with 3 household names, right? And so these are Fortune 500 companies. And the company I was last with, these are brands that we eat every day, was a CPG company. And so I just was like, me going out and selling them is one thing, but me going out with my name, not their name, but my logo, my name, totally different thing. Of course I can't do that. So more and more, when you know that you are meant to be doing something, or I should say your body will know that you're meant to be doing something. Your mind might not know, but your heart knows. So more and more, it'll keep coming to you. So if you have that thing that just keeps coming to you, you have to do it. It will make sure it surfaces itself if you don't. And sometimes it'll be in a way, I have clients who are like, here, I'm so sick. And I'm like, we've been talking about the fact that you've been hustling too much and I'm trying to help you move back and you don't want to. So your body will find a way to let you know. So thank God I didn't have to get to that point. I just said, you know what, I have to do this. So I actually started by investing in a mindset coach. And just being around other like-minded women, it just really helped me. And the combination of that led me to the point where while I was still full-time, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to launch this business and I'm just going to do it. And I actually was running both businesses for almost a year. And then I was like, I can't do both at the same time. So I focused on coaching, but that's my background of how I got to this space.
Right. Good, really good story. And something you said that I think a lot of women, because I hear it all the time, women really struggle with this idea. They believe they have to sell themselves. It's easy for us to, as women, to sell something else. But when it comes to putting the spotlight on ourselves, on our own gifts and our own talents, we tend to struggle with that. And so that's something at some point during this conversation, I want to come back to that, because we have to realize that this isn't about selling ourselves, that this is about coming and presenting something that allows us to be in service to one another. So really good point, you know, how you made that distinction. It was easy selling this stuff, but how you had second thoughts when it came to selling yourself in the very beginning. So that leads me, Kierra, to my next question is, how have you struggled? Right now, here you are, a successful woman helping other women to create, you know, five-figure businesses. How have you struggled or currently found, you know, recently struggled with confidence in your business or in your relationships? Share with us some of the things that come up for you despite the fact that you're successful.
Yeah. So what I really love about what you're doing is that we are women who are confident, right? We know that we know what we're doing. We know that we're amazing at our gift and what we're doing. And so we need to understand that no matter how successful you are, like I'm sure, actually, total side note, the Beyonce Netflix thing came out. I don't know if you watched it, but
No.
I woke up early this morning and Junior and I watched it at 5 a.m. like 6 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. But
Junior's
it's actually
dog. Hold on. Junior's your dog, just in case. You treat your dog like a real son.
Junior is my first son, not my dog. But so my point is, though, I was getting ready to say Oprah, Beyonce, J-Lo, I don't care who it is, Michelle Obama, like, but specifically I'm thinking about Beyonce because on this documentary, she actually was sharing how she felt about her body when she had her kids, and just her having to find herself again and find her confidence again. So I feel like we put some of these women on pedestals like, oh my God, Oprah and Beyonce, J-Lo, they never have a doubt. They never have a fear. No. So yes, when you come to whatever industry you are in, whomever you look up to, whether it's me, Dorothy Inez, the millions of other people that exist, stop putting other people on pedestals and thinking that life is perfect and there's no issues that they're going through. So that's why I love what you're doing, because my response to you would be, it's different. They say every level, new devil, or new level, new devil. So it's like every level of my business, I've had to shift in confidence in some way. It never stops. And the thing that I choose, I tell my clients this, and this is something I've just adopted maybe over the past eight months to about a year, because I've been going through my own journey of just connecting back to myself, which I'm sure we'll get to. But I give myself permission that every single day I grow, expand, and evolve every day, every moment of the day. I actually was recording a training earlier, and I was talking about the fact that when you think about your business, what I believe and what I teach my clients is that my business isn't separate from me. But my business also doesn't define me. It doesn't make me. I define my business. I am my business.
Repeat that. Your business doesn't define
Your business doesn't define you. None of it defines you. My relationship doesn't define me, whether you're in a relationship or not. My weight, like none of it defines me. And so if you was having this conversation with me 2 years ago or 2015 or 14, then I would have been talking about the money and I would have been talking about the client. So actually earlier when you were like, here's a business coach, I'm actually in this space the past couple months where we have actually been shifting because I'm on a mission to transform how women feel about their business and think about their business and making it a connection between you. So the things that I'm struggling with as of now is, one, that mission is huge. That mission is big. Like Dorothy Inez knows how I feel about money. Money and I are friends. We are soul sisters. We are connected. I went out to dinner. My family came up and surprised me. And we were at dinner and Mike and I covered dinner and we said, can y'all just cover the tip? And somebody said the word broke. And I was like, oh, no. Money comes in my life and it comes in every way. And my family, they're used to it. They're like, we know, Kierra. But I'm really on a mission to change how women feel about money. And yes, to me, it is selling yourself, but it's really selling your value and communicating that. And so for me, this mission is huge. So of course, I'm sitting here like, I know that I've helped all these women in the past, but this next level of women that I'm working with right now, women that I'm bringing in, women that I haven't even met yet, that are coming into my space, it's a little like, not even a little, it's like, whoa, this thing is big. Can I do this? God, you put this message on my heart. You put this mission on my soul and on my body, and I'm taking action in it. Right. Am I doing it the way that I should? because we think that there's rules. And so those are some of the things that come up now, is more so like, this is such a big mission. Can I do it? The second thing I would say is around my relationship, right? So like I was saying, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was a different entrepreneur. You know, although Mike and I were in our new house and all this amazing stuff, we really worked for that. We had a period where we just separated for like a year and a half. And so as you continue to grow, one thing for me, I found myself investing in a lot of coaches who didn't prioritize relationships, who didn't prioritize love. And so for me, being raised by a single mother, I already saw that growing up. So I found myself being around other women, nothing wrong with it, but just not for me, who didn't prioritize that. And so I made this story around, I don't get to have the business and the clients and the success. I've had the money. I've had the big multiple five-figure months and launches and all that stuff and clients. It's awesome, but there's a level of, well, what am I making this money for? Who do I live in this big house with? Who do I go on this amazing vacation with? And so there was a level of me allowing myself to be loved and to understand that gets to be a priority, and it's not me sacrificing it. So as I grow, and that has become something I've been like my clients now, they're like, here, why are we talking about relationships and, you know, all this kind of stuff on our calls? But I had a client call me.
It's a big part. All people think that relationships and all this stuff is separate, but it actually is a big part of and not a direct part of your business, but it impacts your business.
Yes.
So,
everything goes back to your energy and how you feel. The reason you told yourself this week, I'm going to go live every single day to promote my product or promote my service, right? Okay. You have an argument with your partner on Tuesday. You are not going to fully show up on that live on Tuesday. If on Wednesday you have to clean up the house, the kids mess up the house, you so tired, you're all the kind of stuff, you're not going to show up as yourself. So it's 1,000,000%. All of it is connected. And it's all about it giving you the energy you need to go and do your work. So if I bring it back to a confidence thing, now my mission is to keep that as my priority. Yes, first it's me. It's nobody else. I don't care when I have a baby, my relationship, clients, none of it. It's all me, because if I'm not full, I cannot be who I need to be for them. So it's more so me reminding myself every single day that that's the priority. It's always me. And then it's, you know, my love and my relationship and business. And so just, I guess it's not a confidence thing, but it's, I guess, a little worry of, well, will I ever forget? But of course I won't forget, because I'm choosing it every day. And I don't think women understand that, like, any shifts I will talk about in this, or you talk about, it's not a shift we made yesterday and we let it go. It's like you watering the plants once and you thinking for the rest of the plant's life it's going to keep growing. No, rain needs to keep coming, or you need to keep watering it. So this is something you have to be choosing and working on every day. So I would say my big mission and maintaining me and my relationship for sure at this level.
Right, because a lot of women, which we're going to get into later on, is a lot of women, what you just described, Kierra, is self-care. And self-care is a big part of what I'm teaching, self-care, self-love, because things begin to happen in our businesses. You know, I have something going on in my relationship, and we can't allow those things to come in and completely sabotage us. We have to have the right tools to be able to handle that. We have to have the right tools to be able to say, you know what, I need to do self-care. You know what, I need to get some help. Let's say it's with the child, so that I can continue to focus on the things that matter to me, you know, most, if that's myself, if that's my business. But having that balance is so important. And that's what I hear you talking about. And then the other piece I heard in there, even though you didn't use these words, is making sure we're doing things in our lives and businesses that are aligned with our goals. Because you said, as you were working with other, I don't know what the heck I said. Did I say values?
Goals.
No. So that are aligned with our values, not our goals. That we want to choose coaches. We want to choose people that are in our lives that align with our values, not our goals. That's why I had to check myself, because you mentioned you hired these coaches and they made you feel like, you know, you couldn't value your relationships. And I think that's a part of developing a solid foundation of confidence, knowing that, you know what, if I step away from my business for a little bit, if I need to take a mental health break today, I know I'm confident that tomorrow everything's still going to be intact, you know? And so I think these types of things are really, really important.
Can I
So
just
it looks
say
like
one
we
thing?
lost Kierra. I'm sure she will be back. So, you know, Kierra brings up a lot of really valid points during this time. So I want to invite some of you that are listening to put your questions in the comments, put any questions you have, or just put any comments that you have about what you're hearing today, how Kierra is saying, you know what, she questioned whether or not she could do this. I know one of the things that I've questioned, you know, with my own self is sometimes, who am I? Who am I to do this? Who am I to have this big call and purpose on my life? Kierra, you're back.
And so, I was never gone, but I don't know.
Yeah, you were gone off the screen. Okay. And so, you know, and so one of the areas that I struggled with when I was struggling with my confidence, I thought I was actually confident at the time, was when I started doing video. And what was that very first video app that came out, Kierra?
Periscope.
Oh my God. I had been teaching video. People, and I always say, Kierra, I was doing that back in 2013, teaching teaching women how to show up in YouTube videos. But when live video came out, that was a new level. And that challenged me because I was so used to being able to record videos, go back and edit the imperfections out. And now live video was going to allow people to see me in my imperfections. And then the one day here I decided to go live. Of course, I get a troll on there and he's like, show me your boob. And that was it. I wasn't doing live anymore. And then Facebook came out with live. And remember, pressing that go live button for the very first time, it was kind of like when I was doing cold calls, sales and telecommunications. And I remembered how I was sweating. I was scared because you begin to question, who wants to listen to me? Who cares what I have to say? All these things begin to show up in our consciousness. And yet here I was, a confident woman. So like you said, new level, new devil. And we have to be willing to acknowledge that, because like I said, ladies, this can be a blind spot for you. And this can cause you to be in procrastination. This can cause you to, even though you're stepping out, you're not bringing in those people because others will catch on to that energy that's going out there. Would you agree, Kierra?
1,000,000%. It has nothing, like, everything goes back to your mindset. Everything goes back to your energy around you and around what you're saying, what you're teaching, you being aligned. I don't care what strategy it is. Strategy is easy. I tell people all the time, like, Kierra, I need help with sales. Sales is easy. When you get this, sales is easy. And so it all goes back to this. And so I don't think people, also women at a higher level, we have to value having someone like you, having support, having someone to reach out to for, 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is, right? I had a client call me the other day for 20 minutes. We didn't talk anything about strategy, anything about sales, anything about business, all about a relationship. That was it. But that thing, we saw how that was actually holding her back in things in her business. So you having someone like Dorothy Inez or someone to connect with, and you know what? Here's the thing. Let's be real. It cannot be your friend. It cannot always be your friend.
Or your spouse. It cannot.
Definitely not your spouse. You know what? Spouses, I get a lot of clients who will do that. And then when they're in an argument or whatever reason, the spouse kind of brings up some stuff and it just, no, spouse is not it, because the reality is, you want someone who is yours. Who is just all about you, who is focused on your mindset, your confidence, what's going on with you. So we have to value that investment. And, I'll tell you this, honestly, for me, I it's at every point in my business, I've always had a mentor, whether it's a mastermind or coach, something. So once I got my first mindset coach in 2016, I think 15, 16, I always said, you know what? Mindset is the thing I always have to be working on. So
Yep.
you may have to make it a non-negotiable for you. I don't care how you make this work. Your mindset is the key to all things, because let me tell you this. When I made my first 3K month, like the second month in my business versus like my first 30K month, or whatever it is, $2,000 a month, 20K day, all of it. When I really sit down and look, it truly was how I felt about myself. Right. I know people say that and you're probably like, no, it's not. It must be some secret formula, strategy, sales. I mean, it could be some sales stuff, but the reason why that worked was because of the mindset and the confidence. And, people think they have to invest in all these things for their next level. I did that. I invested $30,000 for an agency. I wanted the copywriting and the marketing help and automate this and automate that, all these things. And it was like, literally, I know it wasn't a waste, because I know that every single, and I was going to say that earlier when you said something, what I was mentioning about my coach and like, my coaches, and not hiring them for goals, but hiring them for values. So the reality is, just to be clear, I hired them. And so there was nothing wrong they did. They were just being them. That's it. So I had to take ownership. And so that's a whole nother story of us taking ownership sometimes of our investments and things like that. But yeah, sometimes it's an ugly truth. Sometimes an investment could be an ugly mirror in your face, because I saw myself not showing up. I saw myself not doing the thing. I saw myself second guessing. I saw myself working with them on the strategy, but I needed somebody for the confidence and for the mindset. And so me making that a non-negotiable is what has changed things for me, hands down.
Yeah, and you make me think about the very first time. I remember when I was in California and I hired my very first I was so proud. I hired my first high-end coach. I don't know if we were talking at this time, Kierra. Do you remember I hired Tara Travis?
No, you hired her before we met, I think.
Okay, yeah, she was my first high-end coach, and I was so proud. But she was requiring me to do stuff I just was not comfortable with doing. And she promised, help you create that 10K month. And I remember having an attitude, because I was like, well, why isn't she helping me how can she help all these people have a 10K month? Why isn't it working for me? And like you said, it caused me to look into the mirror and realize it wasn't her fault that I didn't hit that 10K. I just wasn't mentally in the place that I could execute at that level. I was afraid to show up. She was asking me, she wanted me to reach out and send people letters and invite people into conversation. I was scared to death. I was confident out there in public, but when she was telling me what I needed to do to take my business to the next level, I was afraid. And that's why having a confidence coach, someone like me, is so good to come alongside you and your business coach, or you and your marketing coach, or your visibility coach, because you're going to need that person in your ear saying, yes, Kierra, yes, you can do this. You got this. Let's work through some of that stuff that's holding you back. Let's work through that stuff that's going on in your mind. Because Kierra, do you mind sharing with the ladies? I love every morning, Kierra does her own mindset work, and she's her own best coach. I'm like, when I listen to her coach herself, because sometimes she does it out loud.
You telling my secrets?
I know. But Kierra is such a fine example of the kind of girlfriend, and this is, confidence is impacted too by the people you surround yourself with. This is so not on the script here. I told you we don't sometimes.
We haven't been following the script at all, technically.
Yeah, we just gonna go with the flow. But this is why who you surround yourself with is so important, because it affects your confidence. Kierra does these things and then they bounce, because she brings it to me and then I'm like, oh, I need to sit down and do my mindset work like Kierra. I need to self-coach. Tell them just them a couple of questions, Kierra, that you might ask yourself that you think might be beneficial to help them as they may do their morning inner work, so that their inner game, they start developing their confidence.
Yeah. Okay. So totally on the spot, but totally okay. I will get it right. So one thing I'll speak to is what she mentioned about being your own best coach. Mm-hmm. I'm always investing in myself. So I'm not trying to substitute that, because I feel like a coach can see things I can't. But at the same time, the only thing I need to do is, if you heard me earlier, is manage me. That's it. That's my only job. And so one of the things my coach actually shared with me was, the only job Oprah has in this world is she manages her mind, her spirituality. That's it. She doesn't manage the show. Like, she doesn't, to an extent, manage any of that. She only manages her, because when she does that, that allows her to have these ideas and things that she brings to life. And once I heard that, I was like, oh my God. And then we talked about like Whitney Houston, and where maybe Whitney Houston was not knowing that her only job is to manage her mind. She couldn't manage her mind. And so no matter how much money and success Whitney Houston, almost, one of the best singers in the world, had, she still couldn't get there. So and then to think as coaches about the power of our work of, what if we could coach Whitney? What if Whitney was open? Because you have to be open to it. So I think that's like the power. One thing I think about is what happens if I don't show up? Theoretically, if Whitney is open, I could be the person to be a part of that space for her, to hold that space for her. So that's just one thing I think about in different capacities every day. But whose life am I saving? Whose mindset am I transforming? If I don't show up with my gift, what happens? So that's a big one. That's very helpful, because I have to think about the power of my work.
Before we go on, so write that question down. We want to be clear what the question is. So tell them what the question is.
So if I don't show up in my work today, who is missing out?
Yes, that is so powerful, because you are here on assignment, lady, here randomly. So beautiful question. What's the second question, Kierra?
So another thing for me, going back to just my space, is, what would my highest self have me share today? And who do I need to be for that? And speaking about the mirror in your face, what do I no longer need to accept today? What do I no longer need to allow today?
Yes.
Where have I been sabotaging or holding myself back?
Now, she gave y'all some juice right there. I hope you might come back and watch this recording. Okay. I didn't want to interrupt her flow, but she gave y'all some juice right there. These are questions you can ask yourself, because these will help you develop your inner game, develop your confidence. Because when you sit down, ladies, and you ask yourself these questions, it builds you up. I don't know, when I ask myself, I'm like, ooh, I have no choice. I have to show up. I have to work through this confidence crisis that I'm having right now, because Whitney might be waiting on me. For me, Janet might be waiting on me, And then when you begin to envision, because, Kierra, you had mentioned this to me a while back, thinking about imagining if I could coach Oprah. And then I know what began to go in my mind is, who am I to coach Oprah? I could even imagine, like, I'm not good, I'm not good enough to coach Oprah. I mean, I'm a good coach, but Oprah, she would never pick me. But see, that's a new level. What if I really allowed myself to believe? That's good, right? What if I really allowed myself to believe that Oprah would hire me? How would I show up in my life? How would I show up in my business?
I have to share something.
Share, Kierra.
Y'all are about to get an exclusive.
Exclusive, straight hot off the press.
Because this is something I try to reserve for clients, but I'm going to share because I would be doing a disservice if I didn't. So follow me here. Dorothy Inez knows I can go a little deep sometimes, but follow me, I promise you. So you said, I had to write down, you said new level, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just imagine. That's it. Maybe you are open to this, maybe you're not. Totally okay. Let's imagine, what if you coaching Oprah is actually not a new level? What if that always was your level?
Boom,
but because you are telling yourself, I'm not enough, I am not of that caliber, I don't make as much money as she does, I don't have millions of people tuning in every week like she does. So the reality is, oh my God, I had a session about this, get me so excited, but let me bring it back. So how I want to summarize this for you is, what if everything that you're sitting there and you're thinking is waiting for you to get to this level? So earlier when I said, I know I have this higher message, and I said, sometimes I have moments where I'm like, oh my God, I have this higher message. What am I going to do? But what I said also was, I choose every single day. And so for me, that looks like me waking up and choosing, I am showing up today for this message because of this person, and because of this message, and because I have to do this, and because I'm already this person. And so what happens is that we as women, so you and I, we work with women who are elite, who are powerhouses, who are exceptional. I love working with women who they have been doing this work, but they're just freaking undercharging and giving it away for pennies. And I'm so sick of it, so done with it. And the biggest thing that happens is that they feel like they're walking around with a big red F on their head in red lipstick, like fraud. I'm a fraud. I can't do that live. I can't sell that thing. I can't charge that much. I can't get that client. And I'm like, but what if you let us imagine for a minute? What if you always already were that coach, but so much of life brought you down from that, and it's taken you off. Instead of you putting other people on that pedestal, you already existed and were created on that pedestal to coach Oprah.
Yep.
But you are telling yourself you weren't. So what if that isn't a new level to coach Oprah? What if you actually were always meant to coach Oprah, and along the way, you just lost it? You just didn't see it. You were told you weren't.
Right. And that's where, leads us into, how do we, what happened that we don't stay at that particular level? Because that is one of the things we were going to talk about. Because why do we doubt ourselves? Why do we say, oh, I couldn't coach Oprah? It's because those things that we've had, like you said, most of us were coming to this earth confident. We're like, oh, I want to be the president. Oh, I want to be Wonder Woman. Oh, I want to be Superman. All these great things, but life begins to happen. People come into our lives and tell us, you can't do that, Dorothy Inez. You can't do that, Kierra. You come from a single family home. Dorothy Inez, you can't do that. Your mom abandoned you. You're not lovable. You're not this. You're not that. All these voices come in and begin to overpower what's really truth in our life. And what we need is someone to come alongside us and help us transform, to renew the mind. We need to start being around friends that see us, have a circle around us of people that see us. We need to be reading the right kinds of books and things, and surrounding ourselves with people that help to reprogram our mind. We need to do our own individual work, like Kierra is talking about, getting up every day, writing in your journal, what are you struggling with? Answering these awesome questions. If you didn't get them, watch the replay and get these awesome questions that Kierra gave you, that she uses as a way to begin to transform your mind. Because you can say affirmations all day long, ladies, but what I know is if you don't have truth in the subconscious, you will continue to reap the results or lack of results that you're experiencing, because in the subconscious, the belief isn't there. That other stuff still has the power, because what we're manifesting is what's in the subconscious mind. So good stuff, Kierra. Good.
Add something.
Yes. I'm gonna read that
first. Sheila, yes, fraud. So a big red F on your forehead is for fraud. So many women are walking around thinking that they're a fraud. So yes. And then the thing I wanted to say, yes, you can get the books and you can do the YouTube videos and you can Google. Obviously, I I do them, my clients do them, any woman on her own personal journey is going to do them. I just want to add this. This is the difference between a book and this conversation happening right here. So instead of me and her having an interview and you all are here, imagine that this is a call. Maybe you hired Dorothy Inez as a coach, and this is a conversation you are having with her. So the issue I have with the people who tell me I've got a book, I've got this and I got that, I'm going to stop there, is that that's information. And you may transform a little bit because you're going to apply it, but you talking to that coach, you getting that support, you being a part of a program that's going to guide you through that book or whatever it is, or whatever their modules and stuff are, is what's going to help you create the next level transformation. And the other thing is, about affirmations. So one of the things for me personally that I've been doing with my private clients is that we have been creating their own affirmations. I don't give a damn about what you Google and they told you, here's 50 affirmations to make more money. No, because if your belief is that you can't make more money because you lost $5 when you were a kid, and every time you get money, you lose money. But the next client of mine's, I have a client, she wants to hit 400K. Ironically, she received a 400K inheritance and she felt like she blew it. And so in this moment, she associates the two because the number is the same with that. So those are two different affirmations, right? And so don't feed yourself these bland affirmations. I'm tired of seeing people in the self-improvement development space, have these generic things. This is a great conversation. Y'all are loving this that she has put together. I need you to take action, and you may need to reach out if you're feeling called. You may need to reach out to her. You may need to, or someone else, whomever. I don't care what the heck it is, but you need to not take the information, but you need to actually implement it and get the transformation and the support you need for it. Because I just feel like that's doing a big disservice to women. Is that they're just not bringing it back to them. I read a book and I feel great for 5 minutes, but tomorrow what happens? And so I actually was looking for my journal. This has been my journal this year. This journal started January 1. This is how 4 months. So this is 4 months of journal. 4 months. I don't play because no, you have to show up for yourself every day. So if you're looking at the both of us and you're having anything come up, we have it come up too. That's why she's created this platform. Yeah. What we need you to understand is that you invest, or you take the action you need to get support, or whatever you need to do to implement it, to make it become a part of what you're thinking every single day. And you're checking those thoughts, your ego, you're checking that every day, because what we don't want to say is what a lot of other coaches are saying. You're going to feel confident and never feel this way again. That's a lie. That's BS. Life happens. The power is how you manage it.
Yeah, it's a constant evolution, a constant challenge. You get good, you get comfortable, but when you're ready to go to that, like we keep saying, that next level. And I love what you're saying, Kierra, about that accountability, because so often, so many of us think, oh, like while I mentioned books or whatever, yes, they're great tools, but there's nothing like having a coach that's holding you accountable, a coach that's speaking life over you, because you're just taking in information from that book. But when you're having dialogue with somebody, you're able to express those emotions. There's so much power. And somebody, because I have one of my clients on here, and she did a video yesterday and she announced her business. She knows who she is. She's living.
Yay! Congratulations!
Knows who she is. And let me tell you, she was scared to death. And she wrote me and she was like, Dorothy Inez, I don't know about doing this video. I don't know about this video thing. I'm just not this. I'm just not that. And for 3 days, we were going through what she didn't like about herself and this, and this. And you know what? I kept speaking life over her. Cut it out. Who are you? Reminding her the truth, who she is, what's possible for her. And yesterday, she did it, and I'm so freaking proud of her. But she struggled to get to that place, and she did it. And this is what happened, because see, she's comfortable behind the scenes. But now to get to that, she wants to attract in higher level clients. So what does that call for? A higher level of herself to show up.
Yeah.
And so it was just power. I mean, yesterday when I saw her, I just wanted to cry, and to see who she's blossoming into is powerful, powerful.
Hold up. But you said you talked to her for 2 days or 3 days. So I want y'all to think about that, because how many months, years, decades have you been sitting there with yourself trying to figure this out? And you saying that you helped her get through that in 2 to 3 days. This is why you get the results, because you're by yourself for 2-3 months.
Yep.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I just had to point that out.
Thank you. Yeah. That is what happens. And then women are so content. They use money as the reason that they don't. They let money run their life, and they use money as the reason that they don't invest. But the truth is, ladies, I know your secret. And the secret is that you're not confident in yourself. You don't believe that you can recoup that investment. Because if you knew and believed in your skills, your gifts, and your talents, you would be like, yes, I got this. No, I don't know where that money is right now, but it's coming. It's here. It's waiting for me. Because when you're confident, you will take that leap in spite of the fear, because you know you can do it. You know that where there's a will, there's a way, and there's so much truth to that. So I just invite you, ladies, to be open to allowing yourselves to experience the truth of who you really are, the self that was sent here, that confident woman that is inside waiting to just burst out and share who she is with the world. Yeah. So good stuff, Kierra. No, I just gotta jump into this one, because we got a few more minutes before we wrap up. So I'm curious, Kierra, how has, if at all, does spirituality play a role in your level of confidence? Has it played a role? Because it's played a big role in mine, and it's a big part of the work that I do. So I'm curious, has your spirituality, your impacted your confidence in any way? And if so, how?
Yeah. So for me, I am a very spiritual person. I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual. But what I will say is that over the past 4 or 5 years, something like that, specifically the past 2 years, there's been this evolution. And what it's been is something Mike and we had a whole dinner conversation about this. And it's so beautiful for your partner we've never talked really about it, but for us to be aligned in this way. And what I believe in this moment, not necessarily what I was taught when I was growing up. I was always taught that God, your source, your universe, whatever your spirit is, was this, he right, is in the earth, right? He's higher than us. And so what I've come to specifically in my personal journey has been this, for myself personally, has been that he always, and I don't know if he's a he could be a she, but that source is within me.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's different is because when I was younger, it was always, you're being watched by God. He's above you. And I pictured him looking out the sky like this. And it was like, you're doing bad things. You see, and now as an adult and as a business owner specifically, it's been, no, I carry you with me every single minute of the day. And so the reason that that's been important for me is because I have stopped thinking about myself as I'm here and he's here and we're separate and I'm bad and he's perfect, and more so, I'm good. I'm great. Mm-hmm. I am perfect. I'm imperfectly perfect as a human being. And I live with him. We sleep together, or my source. We sleep together. We grow together. So anytime I have these confidence mindset blocks, my ego, I call her Kigo, coming up, I already know I already have divinity within me to check her. Oh, no, boo. You're not about to tell Kierra she can't do that, because she already knows that she can. And it's so funny. So this is like me sharing this.
Funny. That's how our higher self. Oh no, boo. Yeah.
Well, that's mine. Yours could be.
That's how mine sounds too.
Okay, some people, I envision some people's higher self having like an accent and whatever. So, drinking tea. But yeah, so mine's is like, oh no, but you're not going to check it. And it's so interesting because over the past couple months, like Mike, he did this last week. He was cooking dinner and I was talking about something and I was making a video to a friend and he responded, oh no, that's Kigo. And so I'll be on the phone with people and in the middle of our conversation, like, oh, hold up. Nope, let me restate that because that totally was Kigo. And so it truly is something that I'm living and I'm breathing and I'm just making it so that it's a habit. So that's been the biggest thing for me is that we are connected and that I've always been this divine person and this divine spirit has always been in me. It's not separate. It's not I'm perfect and you're better. It's always I'm amazing. I'm perfect. I am the bomb. And anything that is happening for me. It's always happening for my highest good. It's never, ever happening to bring me down, to hold me down or anything like that. So I could go on about that. But yes, that it's within me.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful, because that is exactly how I believe. I was like you, raised that God was this thing out in the sky, looking down, pointing his finger down, telling me how bad I was and how terrible and unworthy I was until I began to do my own work. And I feel like I've been mandated to help women come to this consciousness that you're at, that I've come to over the last couple of years, is that we have this oneness with God and that God operates in, through, as me, that my message is not my own, and that when I'm in ego, I have edged God out. When I'm sitting here worrying about, oh, I don't want to get in front of this video because I'm afraid, I'm worried about what people are going to think, I don't want to put out this message or say this or that because it's all about me, and then I'm in procrastination, I have to remember I am the face of God. I am one with God, that there's something in me that's greater than me, that wants to speak, that wants to be expressed. And that is where real confidence comes from. When you realize that you are a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. I don't know why I get my words mixed up today, but we get all confused. But I am a human being, a spiritual being having a human experience. And once we can remember that God is right here, God isn't out there, and it's in that power that you step in front of that video, that you step out and do those things that the coach is asking you to do. That's where real confidence comes from. So I'm so glad to hear, Kierra, that you too are tapping in to that source that is greater than you, that power that is greater than you, that allows you to fully step out and be the gift that is Kierra Jones.
Yeah, because when you do that, you understand that you're not going to do anything wrong. Because I think that's the biggest thing that holds women back when it comes to doing the thing that feels uncomfortable, is it's going to be wrong. And once you understand you're this imperfect, amazing, perfect being, you just understand that, oh, I did that differently and I'm going to do it differently. It wasn't wrong. You're not wrong, So I think it changes that perspective too.
Yes. And it allows you to be your unique self. Because each of us, I always go to ancient wisdom that says we are a masterpiece. What does that mean? That means you were born to be unique. Me and Kierra, we always talk about shining. We were born to shine, born to stand out. And if you start coming out here trying to do everything the way so-and-so is doing it, talk the way they talk, look the way they look, girl, you're just going to blend in.
Yeah,
that's not what you were created for. You were created to stand out and be who you are, but it takes confidence to do that. Yeah. So, Kierra, this has been really, really good. I'm gonna put up on the screen how Kierra has a freebie. I flashed it earlier. She has a gift for you. Tell them what this gift is, Kierra.
So this is going to be my ultimate up-level checklist. So this is for you if you're looking for mindset strategies, to step into that six-figure frequency as a coach or consultant or business owner. It's going to help you really uncover exactly, what your up level looks like, and really think about that. What does a client look like? What does the impact look like? What does the freedom look like for you to really monetize your expertise or monetize your shine, as I like to say, and just talk all things about, building the key pieces of support. We talked about having a great support system. So it's going to be a simple checklist to give you a couple things that I think about and I share with my clients. So you can grab that at freeuplevelchecklist.gr8.com.
Yep, and I had it floating across the screen. And those of you that are interested in working with me and just finding out what is it like to work with you, Dorothy Inez, and find out if we're even a good fit, I want you to reach out to me at dorothyinez.com/book me. Go to that page, learn a little bit about who I am, see some of my testimonials of my amazing clients so you can uncover whether or not you and I would be a great fit. I'd love to just get on the phone and find out how I can be of service to you to help you have the confidence, have the mindset that you need to get to that next level so you can up-level your visibility, up-level your presence, and be able to do those things, speaking, getting in video, starting your business, or up-leveling your business, any of those things with power, with confidence, and with presence. So Kierra, thank you so much for being here. I told them, they had to come on here ready for the juice. I think
all the golden little nuggets. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing conversation that's so needed. And thank you all for being here, and decide what's going to be one action step that you decide to take after you're watching this. Do not let this be something you watch and you end and you don't change or do anything or shift. Decide what action that's going to be for you to up-level your mindset and your confidence.
Right. Thank you so much. And again, though, you have the website, Kierra, give them your freebie one more time.
It's freeuplevelchecklist.gr8.com. I'm going to put it in the comments as well.
And then for me, it's dorothyinez.com/book me or private message me. Just do something. Take action today. Don't sit back and let another day, week, months, year go by without taking action. It's time for you to show up, step out, and shine in your life and in your business. This is Dorothy Inez. I look forward to seeing you on the next Confidence Conversation. Take care.